about to start the live stream, and man, I tell you what, time flies, man. It's pretty amazing. This time of last year, I think the COVID situation just hit. I remember clearly because it's April Fool's Day, so I had to go to Nashville to see my brother. So I remember this time of year, everybody's, things just happening, and there's lockdown. So everybody's kind of, I wouldn't say scared, just, it's very uncertain. So I'm so glad this whole year, the 2020, it's passed. But it's been an interesting year. Really, it's been a really interesting year. I remember I had to, because what I do is I'm outside all the time. So I have to see clients, I have to give lessons. So I'm outside all the time. But obviously, when I'm on the golf course, I keep it, social distancing and wear a mask. And then I actually lived outside of my house, my home, during that time of April, May, June, the 3 months. I was actually renting a place that's not my house. So because my wife actually, just being very cautionary. So she's saying that, look, you just, we're gonna lock down. We're not gonna go outside, and you go out there. You gotta do what you gotta do, right? So, but the thing is that because everybody started picking up golf, because golf was like the only thing that people can do during that time. So I had to give lessons. So it was a very interesting 3 months, the April, May, and June. It's just been out there and living on my own, even though, I got a family and a wife. We'll do FaceTime, we talk, but it was interesting. It was very surreal. It was quite an interesting experience, very surreal. And now I actually look back on my calendars. Everyone's got calendars on their phone. I look back on the times I'm by myself. It was interesting. So we did some live streams during that time, and but today we're finally back into our studio, the normal place to do live stream. Now I got Jason with me. He's just right behind the camera, behind the computer and everything. So hopefully this whole thing's gonna pass. Everything's get back to normal. Well, probably not going to be completely normal, I guess. A lot of people are gonna stay home because really, I think, for some reason, maybe it happened for a good reason, because a lot of people, like, if you're working from a computer all the time, you may not need to go to an office. If you got high-speed internet, you can get a lot of stuff done at home, so you don't need to fight the traffic, the commute time. I think in some shape or form, maybe it's good. I believe sometimes things happen for good reasons. So now that the traffic's not as bad, especially we're in Atlanta, Georgia. I mean, if you guys, I got a lot of Atlanta clients and students. I mean, you know how bad the traffic is in Atlanta, right? So that kind of helped out a little bit. So, and hopefully you're getting the vaccines, right? Get the Pfizer, and how many type of vaccine there is? Three type of vaccines, right? So now get the vaccines, and now in Georgia everything's open. Just get online and register and get it done. There's first shot and second shot. I got my second shot 2 weeks ago, so I'm pretty good. Now I got some side effects, nothing crazy, just very sore arms, and then the first one I get really sore arms, like I couldn't even kind of move. So I tell the nurse, do on my right, so because I gotta swing the left side. So that's a good choice. So if you're a golfer, if you're getting the vaccines, put the shots on your trail arm. And the second shot, which is, you put the appointment in and you go in there, do the second shot. It was actually pretty easy, didn't have to wait in line too long. And the second shot made me really sleepy. I wasn't tired, I was just sleepy. So I think the second day I slept all day. And then, then I wake up and everything was fine. So I think everybody has a different reaction to it. So yeah, please go on there and get it done and get the vaccine. So now we're gonna be doing the live stream. How's the audio? Is anybody complaining the audios? No. No? Alright. So hopefully not that things getting back to normal, because me and Jason we kind of have to do, obviously keeping the social distancing. We had to do live streams in different locations, using the technology, but I'd rather do it when he's here, so that way it's more prompt, it's more reactionary, because there's always going to be a delay on the live stream anyway. So I think the communication is a lot better. All right. So this year, really, I'm getting a lot busier with my lessons. The words out there now. Energy first, impact later. It started to resonate. Really, I know a lot of people say, well, there's so many different teaching system or style of a swing. But like I say to you, it doesn't matter what type of swing you do, what style that you have. You may say, I want to swing like DJ, I want to swing like Tiger. But overall, we still are going back to those 4 words. Energy first, impact later. Okay. Now a lot of people will argue with me and say, well, you don't really know this type of swing, or you don't really know what DJ is doing. I say, well, from outside, you can always describe the outlook of the swing. But essentially, it still comes down to, are you producing the correct energy? Is your energy rotational, right? Or are you trying to use a muscle to make contact, or are you using the energy releasing through the ball? Okay, so that's always going to be, that's the reason why a lot of times, I have a lot of clients take lesson from me. Really, there's no contradictions in our instructions, because if you think about it, a golf instruction is based on energy first, impact later. Everything will flow. Okay. Now, if I say, well, energy first, and we're gonna focus on impact, I think that way we will create contradictions, and that's absolutely going to be true. And that's the reason why. And the truth is, just give you my personal story, right? And everybody knows that I started teaching golf when I was 30, and I started working out when I was 16. So I have a lot of gym experience, fitness experience, and I started playing golf when I was 19. So, I mean, really, if you guys follow the channel, follow the Energy First Golf channel, note that I always mention to you guys, I used to struggle a lot. For the first 8 years, I was searching. There's so many information, and I know now a lot of the information are contradicting each other. Okay, but I didn't know that at the time. So always searching for a swing, searching for the perfect swing. But the truth is, there really no such thing as a perfect golf swing, but a perfect golf energy, the rotational energy your body is going to create. So, for 9 years, I was searching, and I can shoot in the 70s, and then sometimes I'll go back to 80, high 80s, low 90s. So it's very frustrating. So nothing seems to stick. And that's the reason that was when I started to go, okay, I need it really scratched, start from the beginning, find a way. The truth is, again, I started playing golf when I was 19. I never want to be a tour player. Okay, that's just not happening. Again, I mean, well, I take it back. On the very first day I picked up the golf club, I thought this game was going to be easy, right? The ball is not moving. I got a club, just whack and hit it. How hard can it be, right? So I believe that's pretty much everyone's mentality. How hard can it be? But the truth is, it's very, very difficult because you're dealing with a lot of verses, 2D versus 3D, right? Human instinct versus pure motion. There's just a lot of conflicts. So the first 8 years I was just completely struggling. I mean, everybody can relate to, I got notebooks this thick, and I have cutouts from Golf Digest, golf magazines, all the things that say, hey, maybe this is gonna work, and maybe this is gonna work. And the truth is, they all just pieces of information, but nothing's connected. Because really, I believe nobody's really talking about the correct energy. Everybody's really talking about impact. How do you get to the ball? So that is extremely frustrating for me. So again, I started playing when I was 19. I never want to be a tour player. I really just want to understand this game. I really want to understand the golf swing. So, I had coaches myself. Again, if you guys follow the channel, I have the videos on that. And they're really not able to answer a lot of my questions. So I was pretty depressed, really. There was a time, I was like, man, I need to stop playing this game. I need to give up. But because the challenge is so, it's like a drug. You want to know. So good thing I never give up. So I kind of, like I say, think outside the box. Really one of my biggest sort of a light bulb moment is like, wait a minute, what if I don't focus on trying to hit the ball square? That was really my biggest light bulb moment. I mean, that was just one day, I was on a golf course. I mean, I can tell you guys, it's in Atlanta, Georgia, Dorm Lakes. I was on a golf course, Dorm Lakes. I was like, you know what, nothing's working. I'm just gonna play golf like I'm playing tennis. I used to play tennis in high school, for college a little bit. So not focusing on the square impact position. Man, I tell you what, that was probably really the best thing I did for myself. I was in shock. I mean, I was ecstatic because I was the only person on the course at the time. It was fascinating to me. I mean, I played the first 3 holes. It was like par, double bogey, and didn't even want to count score on the 3rd hole. And that was when I just lost it. I said, you know what? Nothing works. The first hole par, 2nd hole double bogey, and this hole I don't know. Ball to the left, drop one, hit in the water. Then I say, forget it. I'm just gonna play like playing tennis. Forget about the square impact position. That really, that day, I don't remember the date, actually. I just remember the golf course very clearly. That day, the name of the course, it was, I believe it was springtime. It was springtime. It was sometime like May. But it really helped me discover what playing golf really means. Like at the time, like I always tell people, most people come to me and say, all I want to do is be consistent. Man, I swear to God, man, I would just kill to be more consistent. Because now I always tell people, no, it's not consistency you're looking for, man. You're looking for body control. You want to be able to control the body. If you know how to control the body, you will know how to control the ball. So that day, it really was a fascinating day for me. Then I started to rethink all the notes, and then I started applying a lot of martial art stuff, a lot of my fitness stuff, understand the muscles more. And what I did that day is that I would say, okay, there's gotta be, it's very easy to look at it, right? If you're learning something right now, I mean, if you're learning golf for 30, 15, 20 years, and if you learn golf for that long and you're still not improving or you still don't understand, it's like, why do I slice? Why that? I mean, we got a problem, man. If you learn something that long and you still don't understand what's going on, there's a problem. So I feel like, okay, it's okay to be wrong. And it's okay to be correct. But it's not okay to be this information may be correct or this information may be okay, but they don't match. You know? So once you have contradiction, then we got problems. Because the contradiction means we don't know when is right, when is wrong. We don't know when to use what. Okay? So that becomes very frustrating. Then you're just confused. Because you thought, hey, maybe this works one day, and then maybe this works one day. But then they don't match. So then that's the reason why I always say that, you know, because of golf, you know, really learning golf is just like anything else. Learning anything else, right? You cannot have a contradictions, right? Or you can just say, hey, you got a hard memory, you know, you can memorize certain things. Just like a multiplication table, right? 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9. So you memorize that, but even when you memorize that, there is a rationality behind that. So that's the reason why I always say that, you know, you guys, when you guys watch my channel, you know, you're welcome. I mean, to be honest with you guys, from here on, I really would love to just really promote the game. I know how fun this game is, how much enjoyment it gives to me, because I'm not confused, I'm no longer frustrated, okay? And I want the same thing bring out to you guys who's watching this channel, who's learning how to play golf. And golf can be so much fun when you are beyond the confusion, the frustration. And really, has nothing to do with score, to be honest with you. I mean, you can swing really well, sometimes not able to score. It just happens because you're dealing with a mother nature, you know. Sometimes the ground's too soft, sometimes the green is just way too fast, sometimes it's too dry, sometimes it's windy. You know, you're dealing with elements. But when you're dealing with elements, it's fine. But you got to understand how do you control your body. So that way, at least within yourself, there's no contradiction and there's confusion, there's no clarity. So that's what really Energy First Golf, Energy First Impact Later, you know, obviously it's short for EFO, is going to bring you all those information and bring this knowledge on the table to share everybody. And I think as time goes, most people will start to realize it, because really that is the only way to learn the golf, learn how to play golf, right? Having the correct energy first. So now earlier I say something regarding when I started teaching it, because I started teaching when I was 30. So once I started thinking about from that sense, from what I called it, energy first, impact later. But obviously when I was, you know, it's almost like when I started teaching golf, there's like a try out for error type of deal. You know, you try, you know. So it gets kind of frustrating when I teach someone, because the idea is sometimes when the instructions, you have confusions or conflict in information instructions, and then the learner, your student, can get very confused also, and then they come back to you with a lot of questions, and sometimes I wasn't able to answer those questions. Why, you know, when I was early 30s when I'm teaching golf, and try to figure out what to do for these people, these students, right? So, but as time goes now, you know, I've been doing this since I was 30, I'm 49 now, and our teaching system becomes so solid, there's really no questions I cannot answer. And to be honest with you, I truly believe the golf swing is very hard to learn, but it's not complicated. It's not complicated, and the instruction shouldn't be complicated. The reason why I say the instruction shouldn't be complicated is that if you don't have instruction that's contradicting with your own words, then the instruction shouldn't be complicated, right? I mean, really, I always tell people, you know, if you hear someone tell you to square the face at impact, and at the same time they say, well, we got to make sure you release the club, See, those two information would contradict. Because not from the contradict of is it right information or wrong information? It's from a perspective of learning. When someone is learning the game, then those two information will contradict with your motion. Because, for example, someone who's a beginner, if you tell them, hey, make sure you got to square the face and impact position, and they will do it. Then, if you tell them, oh, you're not releasing the club. Okay? So release the club and square the impact position. They seem like they're legitimately correct, but from a learning perspective, from a learner's ear, from a student's ear, it sounds okay, but the problem is that when he's trying to learn those two information, it's impossible to do it together. Because you cannot square the face and focusing on square the face and expect it to release. So that's impossible. So I don't know how most other people teach golf. Like I said, you got so many YouTube channels out there. I know I don't even want to name them because there's so many. And I hear them, I watch their channels, I watch their videos, and sometimes they're just talking. But they don't watch what they say, Obviously, if in their mind, the information they spelled out or they speak and they spit out, for them, it feels just fine. But again, it's about the learner, the people who's listening. How do they receive the information? So that's the reason why a lot of them, when they teach golf, they don't know if the stuff they say is contradicting to a learner's ear. So that's very, very important, And also, really, oh, we got a question, Jason? So, what's crazy about me is I can just talk about golf. I can just keep going, There's so much stuff we can talk about because it's such a fun game. And it's very philosophical, in my honest opinion. So, looks like we have a question right now. So, Jason, who's asking and what's the question?
Yeah, we have about people coming in. There were 10 people watching right now. So, hi everyone. I'm Jason. I'm the back camera guy, I guess. It's very exciting to finally, be able to be in the same room with Lawrence again after this whole crazy year.
Yes.
And now I'm here so that, we're a more efficient walk around so that I can help Lawrence with questions and everything. So if you have any questions, just leave in the chat and I will ask Lawrence, and I'll also at the same time post the question on the live stream so you know which question Lawrence is answering. So first of all, we have a few people saying hi. It's Ray and Michael. There's a Michael Tong who has been replying a lot in our English video, and he's saying that he's been watching all your video and many answers you give me, and he appreciates that, and he's from Singapore.
Very good.
So
Michael.
So our first question is from Ray. He said, good evening. I always use too much hands in my swing. What is the best drill to fix it?
Well, okay, that's a very common question, and actually, I don't know, Jason, can you pull up the video? I did that, I think just a couple weeks ago, I did it with the video where, you either close your eyes or, there's a video, we did it recently.
Yeah,
if you can send a link to him.
On the English channel, right?
On the English channel, yes. But I will answer that question. And the truth is, that's extremely common. That is extremely common. This is exactly what makes golf learning so difficult. But again, your natural intention, your natural instinct, when you have a ball, you will, just really every human being, you will react to the ball. There's just no any other way around that. So, but I always tell people that your hand-eye coordination is not going to help you. So don't use hand-eye coordination. And then obviously, Ray, is it Ray?
Yes.
Ray asked, well, how do you get rid of it?
He's having a follow-up point. He's saying that now I'm doing 1/4 swing to try to use body power more. Is that the right way?
That's totally fine. So what happened is now I would suggest, Ray, you can do this when you get home. And you can literally do this, right? So just do a short back swing, and you can literally Now, we always talked about how you got to move your hips and turn your core. And the truth is, when you're doing that movement, I'll highly suggest you that don't even look at the ball. Allow your head to turn with the body. Okay? Allow your head to turn with the body. Okay? Now, also, we already know that your right arm is very sensitive and very strong and very fast. So what you also can do is that you gotta train your left arm structure, which we talked about a lot in our videos, that what is the correct structure of the left arm? How do you keep your body and the arms connected? So you can also do this drill where you just use your left arm, but you can still turn your head away. Now, the most important thing when I'm doing that, this is what makes golf so fascinating. You really want to feel like you are striking through the ball with your hips and your core. And simply put, you want to feel like you're hitting the ball. I mean, I don't like to use the word hit, but simply put, you want to feel like you're hitting the ball or getting through the ball with your hips and your core. Okay? That is really the center movement. You know, when I say center movement, again, like I said, if I put a ball right there, if I have a rotation, all I'm getting through the ball is based on rotation. So you need to find that feeling. You need to find that gut feeling. Okay? So you can do it with eyes closed. You can do it with eyes closed, create structure, or you can do it with your head that's rotating. Okay, you can literally not looking at the ball. Okay, now while you're doing those movements, you cannot expect the ball to go very far or to go very high. The most important thing is that I always tell my students and my clients, you need to feel the weight of the club from your center. Means right now, if I'm standing over here, I feel the weight of the club from my body, not necessarily from my hands and my arms. Okay? And that is extremely important. So when you feel the weight of your hands, meaning what you feel the weight of the club with your body, not the hands, at the same time, you will actually feel the weight of your arms. Means you will feel the arms, meaning your body's rotating, you feel the weight of your arms and the club as a one unit. But again, repeat, your arms cannot be very stiff. You got to let them flow. It means you cannot allow the arms to control the face. If you control the face, that wouldn't work. We talked about your club has to what? The club has to rotate. So you got to allow that feeling to get through the ball. Okay? So, again, I know it's very frustrating. You all know that now. All of you guys know when you're watching on channel, you know your right arm will get ahead of your body. But this is exactly the reason why I say that for most amateurs, the first stage of learning golf is called a power struggle. You're using the 2D power from your arms, or you're learning how to use a rotational energy, which is your body rotational power. But if you keep doing it, you keep doing the drills I show you guys on our videos, and believe it, you really, again, I literally have clients. The truth is, I'm going to be filming a lot of lesson videos when this, the whole craziness ends. And I will usually tell my clients and students close their eyes. I literally tell them, just go ahead and close your eyes. I had a client today, his name's Craig. I say, Craig, just close your eyes. Don't even look at the ball. Set up to the ball and close your eyes. And just focus on, with your eyes closed, but focus on what your body is doing. And he actually literally strike the ball, getting through the ball better with eyes open. But that's what we mean when we say you have to build the senses from your hips and your core. And eventually then it becomes a no-brainer when you go out there and play golf. because now you're using the correct energy. Okay, so again, let's repeat what we talked about. You can close your eyes. You can turn your head. You don't need to look at the ball. You can do single arm connection, right? And then obviously Ray say that, hey, let's do maybe quarter swing. You can absolutely do that. Just short back swing, short back rotation, weight transfer, move your body. Or you can put on the video, I think, Jason, you found that link, right?
Yep.
And on the video, watch that video, we talked about put an object in the front of the ball, or put 2 balls there. Just the idea, everything we're doing right now is trick your eyes. Make sure we're tricking your eyes to not react to the ball, so that way you don't have a hand-eye coordination, you don't have a reaction, right? And also, we already know when the hard thing for most people is understanding this arm right now. When you extend the arms, you don't extend for the sake of extension. The only reason why this right arm is extending is because this arm's rotating. The arms is rotating, so you don't extend to the ball. So really work on the right arm rotation. Okay, and so if you keep training it that way, I believe you start to develop a senses, means you start develop a feeling of a core and body that's in control of the arms, rather than the arms on the chest and the shoulders and the back acting independently. But that's exactly why I say the first stage of learning golf is called the power struggle. Again, I went through that, and again, I have many nights, I usually go to a range where I teach right now in Northcrest driving range. I would swing buckets of balls with my eyes closed, literally with my eyes closed. Just to build, just get the building feeling where, my eyes closed, that I know I can get through the ball. But remember, the reason why I say with my eyes closed, because when I'm doing that, because I'm taking away a sense, I need to build another sense, which is the rotational sense. So I highly recommend you guys just go on there and swing with eyes closed. I mean, if you want to do that, and I would highly recommend that. Now, a lot of times most people say, well, I want to see where the ball is going. Yeah, that's fine. Then don't look at the ball, Put 2 balls. Put 2 balls in the front, or put an object, and then just swing 2 balls. And see what happens. So, but it's a struggle, absolutely, and I understand it too. But you must overcome. Otherwise, it's actually, Jason, when you're taking lessons from me, did I tell you close your eyes?
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes you say, "Oh my God, I hit a ball better than what if I open my eyes."
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, when you close your eyes, your focus is not on the ball; it's on your body, which is exactly what you're trying to do.
Right. So what Jason's saying, when he's closed his eyes, he's focused on his body. But a lot of times, when I tell someone to close their eyes, but the problem sometimes even when your eyes are closed, your senses, you're still searching for the ball. So don't do that. Right. Again, when you close your eyes, you absolutely want to focus on your body movement. So you cannot go, even though I'm closing your eyes, then you don't go, where's my ball? You don't do that. And that's very important. Okay? So that's really, there's no quick fixes on that, to be honest with you. Okay? But there will be a sort of what I call a sudden jump. Once you start to realize it, and it will go from, you will have your own personal light bulb moment. You will have your own personal epiphany. You go, whoa, wait a minute, I see, this works. Okay, so obviously relaxation is the key. Relax the shoulders, make sure the arms stay connected with the body, right? Relax the shoulders. So hopefully keep going at it. Like I say, don't give up on it, because you will have to do that to allow yourself to learn the motion of a rotation without any type of interference of your arms that's extending to the ball. Okay? So Do we have another question? All right.
Yeah, the other question is from Michael. So Michael is saying, I have been watching your excellent videos and the many answers you have given me. I'm still having difficulty trying to rotate my abs at the oblique instead of my arms. Any advice to let go my arms?
What you can do a lot of times, what I would highly recommend Michael to do is make sure, you probably need to do that some exercises at home that without a golf club. Now, let me show you guys, because the problem that Michael's facing now is that when you have a ball, you will get tense. So if your shoulders and your chest and your back gets tense, you will have a hard time feeling the abs. Okay, this is just absolutely true. Because right now, if I'm doing this a lot, I don't feel my core, I will feel my chest. So what I would recommend you guys to do for Michael, a lot of you, don't swing the golf club at home, okay? All you want to do is grab a weight, grab onto something. Nothing too heavy, right? All I want you to do is to make sure when you grab the weight, you hold the weight very lightly. Now, obviously, you don't want to drop on the floor. Okay, hold the weight very lightly, okay? And then what you want to do is you want to work on this motion. You want to do it very slowly from obliques to obliques, obliques to obliques. But the most important thing is that you have to make sure you don't squeeze the weight, okay? So say, for example, right now I'm going to grab we have a 10-pound dumbbell here. Hopefully this doesn't drop, okay? So I have a 10-pound dumbbell here, guys, right? So for Michael, do it without a club, okay? And this will help you. So I have a weight right now, okay? So I hold it very lightly, okay? So what I wanted to do, if you notice that when I'm doing this, I need to relax my shoulders, okay? And also, obviously, I have a golf posture, okay? Then I want to go from obliques to obliques. And obviously, you would turn your hips. Now, what I would recommend you guys to do when you do this, have a slight pause. What does that mean? It means when you turn to here, allow the weight to give a little bit of momentum. Don't try to control the weight. You're not supposed to control the weight. Allow the weight to swing. Allow the momentum to happen. Okay? And that's also very, very important because you don't want to do this. Okay? You want to allow the momentum to happen. The reason why is that because you have to have a momentum, means you have to have some kind of output of energy because you're turning your body. So you got to have a momentum. It represents a motion that's in play, that's alive. But if you stop it, see, if I do this and if I stop it, because I have tension, then your body will not learn it. You will not learn it. Okay? That's really, really important. I don't know if you guys, when I was younger, I used to try to learn breakdance. It's funny about learning dancing. You literally have to just go. Means when you learn a certain steps, you cannot try to stop at certain steps. Means you just have to go and learn it from the mistakes you're making. But what I'm saying to you here is that when you're turning your core, you really have to feel the weight, which is when you swing the golf club, you have to feel the weight. So in other words, if your hands are feeling the face, then you're stopping. So which is exactly what we say, impact later. You don't worry about impact. So you can see there's a contradiction when you're learning, when you try to produce energy, but if you worry about impact, then the energy won't be quote unquote fully developed or fully transferred. That's one of the reasons why we say energy first, impact later. We don't say energy first, impact second. If we say impact second, that means you go, okay, doom doom, let's do that. No, later means just whatever. It doesn't matter. There's no time. There's no saying when. It just say it will happen later. So that's the reason why impact later. We don't say impact second. So I would highly recommend Michael started working on doing these drills with weights, feel the momentum, but you need to feel your abdominal area, your obliques and your core. You gotta feel those pressure, and you have to feel like you can move those muscles. Okay? Absolutely, you have to feel those muscles. Because right now, when I'm doing this right now, I don't feel my shoulders at all. All I feel is here. And that's one of the reasons why I say that golf is so good for you when you learn it correctly. You're constantly moving your core. There's a lot of movement here. Okay? So, it is also a building, you're building the muscle memory. You're building the muscle strength. Right? Because the truth is, if you want to talk about core muscles, a lot of times when you do crunches, right? Or when you do side bends, there's still 2D movement. But you want to make sure those movements, the muscles are combined. There's a compound motion, means they're coordinating it from obliques to core to obliques, right? So if you do that, and you will feel it. And the truth is, that's where your energy is. That's exactly why we say energy first. You must build that. So in other words, once you build that energy, right? Once you build that energy, then you can forget about the arms and the ball. You can just swing. And you will eventually build that trust. So, absolutely work on it. We got a lot of videos regarding the core. We probably could do more in the future. A lot more different variations. I mean, the truth is, you see tour players, they would do this type of exercise, throwing the ball, right? It's the same thing. Or they have a rope. They do the rope. See, when they do the ropes, they don't go with arms. They do it with the body. With the core. Now, the only difference, that they, see, every tour player you talk to, they will say, oh, no, I'm just moving my shoulders. I'm moving my shoulders. No, you're not moving your shoulders. So, if you hear a tour player say they're moving their shoulders, no, they're not moving their shoulders. Okay? They're moving their core. The shoulder feeling, what you see from shoulders, is just a byproduct of your core motion. I mean, obviously, the shoulders got to move along with the core. But the reason why a tour player won't say it is, man, I'm just trying to turn my shoulders. No, you're not turning your shoulders. It's just such a lazy term. You say, I'm turning my shoulders. They're turning the core, obliques, and abdominal area. Okay? So do that exercise, and I believe if you started doing those exercises, you will eventually start to develop a lot of core recognition and feeling. And also, you won't get six-pack, okay? I'm not here to promise six-packs. If you're looking for six-packs, you got to do something different, I used to have a six-pack when I was, 19 and 20. But I no longer have six-pack. Okay, it's just too hard to maintain. You got to eat right, but you don't need six-pack to play golf. That's absolutely true, okay? So, keep working on those exercises, okay? And really, I recommend you guys, if you guys watch our channel, if you see a video that you really like, the initial time when you watch it, you will go, that's interesting, maybe a good video, it's okay. But if you really find the video that you like, I highly recommend you guys re-watch it. Watch it a couple times. I guarantee you, once you re-watch it, and you will get a different sense. Every time it's going to give you a different type of, you're going to go, okay, I may miss that when I first time watched it. I mean, the reason why I'm saying that to you is because I have clients that watch the videos, like, you know, the first time, and then I say, go ahead and watch that again, you know, when they took lesson from me, you know, 2 months later, I say, you know, maybe check out that video again, and they watched it, say, you know what, the second time when I watched, it feels a little bit different, you know, I'm getting different information, I'm understanding, I'm digesting information different. And then eventually, you know, 6 months later, I say, go watch that video again. They watch it again. They say, oh my God, now I get it. But can you explain to, then they have a question. Then they will ask me, and I say, okay, well, that question is answered on the 2 videos later. So then they watch it. So again, I always tell a lot of my clients, look, our videos is not going to be the most popular. You know, we don't have video go, man. Let's just get two things. We hit 300-yard drives. Today we're going to talk about how you get your iron solid. No, we can't do that. I mean, all we're doing is that, okay, this is a learning system. You got to continue to learn it until you understand what each video telling you, what is the information, then you 100% understand. And then you say, okay, I can move on to the next video. So that's really what our video is all about. But those are all very good questions. Unfortunately, I'm not right next to you guys. You know, I love, you know, that's the reason why, okay, you know, eventually we will be doing a lot of traveling. Like I mentioned to you guys before, once the COVID stopped, we are working on the FO Golf certification. You know, there are a lot of people all over the world that showing interest that they want to be, you know, FO Golf certified, and they want to know more about FO Golf and its first impact later. And we are going to do that. We're going to be traveling to all over the world, of course, places that's safe, that promotes golf. And we're going to go to those places and the countries, and we're going to promote this idea of a correct learning of golf. So I look forward to see you guys. You know, I know a lot of people watching our video, you guys in the different countries, you know, Singapore, you know, sometimes I have clients and, you know, I have guys in Argentina, in Australia, right, in South America, and sometimes Jason, I just did a lesson with a guy in South Africa, you know, Pepe, right? So, and I really appreciate you guys' support. So, but hopefully I will get to see every one of you to really promote the FO Golf, and its first, impact later. All right? Any other questions?
Yeah, there's a follow-up question from Michael.
Okay.
So he's saying, during backswing, I found that my right arm collapsed and is too close to my body. This seems to be causing a problem during my downswing. Do I need to extend my right arm during backswing?
Yes, that's a common problem. So I did a video with a dumbbell. Okay. So yes, that's a common problem, but most people tend to do that. Well, the truth is, we can't blame you, because, you know, if you see a tour player, they put a towel, and this drives me nuts. I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of people a tour player do that drive me nuts. You know, they put a towel here and they go over here. And this is a problem. Okay, this is a problem. Now, most people always ask me, well, why do the tour players do it? I'm like, you know, sometimes tour players, they don't even know why they do that. Okay? It's almost like, you know, you speak such a good English. You say, man, sometimes I can rap in my car. You know, they would listen to rap music and they can rap. I couldn't. What I always tell people, like, well, sometimes, again, understanding a tour player, all these people started playing golf so young. They can try whatever they want to. Remember, if you understand golf, if you know how to play golf to make a living, you certainly know how to break rules. Okay? But a lot of your amateurs out there, you don't really understand the golf swing. So if you break rules, it won't help you. So this is a rule-breaking movement. This is really, if you put a towel here, you do this, that breaks the rules of understanding golf swing. But I do understand why they do that. It's because sometimes they might be working on, going back to Michael's question, they may be working on a connection with the core. Okay? But the problem is that if you as an amateur doing that, you're not training the body correctly because there's already too much tension. Understanding a tour player, when they put a towel here and they put a towel there, they don't have tension on the shoulders. Like right now, I'm doing this, I don't have tension on the shoulders. I'm not purposely going, let me make sure this is so tight so this thing never comes out. No, that's not the point. Okay? So, whenever they do those things, I don't even know why they do it. Okay? Sometimes I really want to ask them, I want to see what they say, but like I say, they do that is because they maybe try to find the core connection. Okay? It's just a drill. Now, going back to Michael's question. You absolutely don't want to do that when you're training the swing. Your arms, right now, if you feel your right arm take it to the top, you absolutely need to create room here. Okay? Now I'm going to give you a 45-degree view. You want to create room here. And the funny thing, if you think about it right now, I'm holding the club. My shoulders and my arms are not very tight. You know, you can literally hold arms like that. Right? Feel the weight. Just feel it. Then on the downswing, you're turning your body. Right? And we did a video, actually, we did a video with the dumbbell. I know, Jason, you remember that weight with the video with the weight, 10 pounds. The momentum, I call it right arm momentum. It's pretty recent. And we did a video on that just to talk to people, you know, you guys regarding that issue.
So golf muscle training?
Yeah, it was most recent with a dumbbell. I'm in the gym.
Oh, top of the swing.
Yeah, the right arm, top of the swing. Right. So what you have to really focus on, it is this momentum when you get to the top. You know, what I do right now, if I get to the top, you can see my arms are following this motion. And what you see tour players do it. That's all they do. Every one of them turning. And that's all they do. And so you can see when I turn to here, my arm right here is not bending that quick. It only bends when I get to here. So a lot of times, most amateurs, if we bend the arms too quick right here, and then we have a problem. That means you would take the club inside. 1, 2, you already have tension in your arms. And 3, you're using your arms too much. Okay, because the right arm, when you take to the top, is just momentum. So going back to what I said earlier, you have to find the momentum of the weight of the club. That's the reason why you got to take your time to feel that. Right? So in other words, when you have a ball, when you have two hands, your body has to find that feeling. Then you swing. But, you know, most people, when you see the ball, you're so anxious to get to the ball. And then that's not good. And the truth is, the amazing truth is this. The absolute amazing truth is that I know now, like I used to go through the same problem. I mean, this is why I know the rushness or the urge to strike the ball. Like I mean, when I was young, I can never stop here and still get through the ball. But you have to train that rhythm, that pace. You have to train it. You have to train, which most professional, they would say, tempo. You know, you got to train the energy and the momentum of the rotation and not worry about how hard you're going to hit the ball. So, I know, Michael, your problem is very common. It's extremely common. But the idea, you know, it's just, that's why it's so crazy about golf. You have to understand the arms are just following the body, and you let the arms follow the motion and set naturally. Okay, now here's another thing about hard thing about golf. Like most people don't even know what that means naturally, right? They go, let me do this. Right? They start moving the arms. They turn the body and then they move the arms. See, that wouldn't be natural. So you really have to work on it very slowly and smooth. Feel the momentum. If you start to do this and move your arms, then we got problems. So, in a nutshell, it's all really about you learning golf. Try to have a serenity when you move your body, right? And when you try to digest on when your body try to absorb what's happening. You know, because the center rotation, your hips and your core is rotating and your shoulders relaxed. So I understand what's Michael's, you know, your really your issue, but I would highly recommend you just try to do it real slow. You can literally do this drill. You know, I don't usually like people do this drill with one arm to swing the ball, but you can. You get to here, but still got to turn your hips and turn your body. And notice how smooth I'm doing that. Again, I'm not worried about how far the ball is going to go, right? Or I'm going to do this with two hands, right? I go to here, absorb the energy, the momentum. Okay? And you will have to do that to build certain confidence of the motion. Okay? And yes, it is, again, it is hard to learn a golf swing. But at the same time, it's hard to learn how to hit ball too. You know, to play golf. It's the same thing. It's almost like it's hard to learn it right, it's hard to learn it wrong. Both are hard. So take the time, really enjoy yourself while you're doing that. Like I really tell people, really golf, it's a game of learning, period. You know, you never stop learning. I'm still learning. I'm just learning different things. You know, I'm always learning new equipment, you know, new technologies. But the idea is I'm learning new things based on what I'm what I'm acclimated, what I'm building up. You know, my data, my experience, but it's based on correct understanding it. So you want to make sure you build correct base, so that way the continued growth, the continued learning will happen. And this is the most important. Really, eventually, it's not about how you score. I shoot in the 60s before. I don't really care shooting in the 60s. I mean, it's not something. I mean, I get it, but my job is I want you guys to understand the golf swing and how do you enjoy playing the game. So that's the most important. All right. So hopefully I'd help you out, Michael, on this. But again, if you have questions, keep answering questions on the channel, and we will try our best to really answer. But like I say, sometimes, you know, this is still there's a wall here, right? Because even though you see me, but it's not as good as one-on-one. You know, that is absolutely the downside of, you can say downside of technology. You know, hopefully one day Scotty beam me over to Singapore and beam me back. And that would be the idea. So that way, you know, I can see you in person and come back home in an hour. So that would be the idea. But hopefully we'll see you with airplane traveling, you know. Again, we've got a lot of places to go to. Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Singapore, Hong Kong, Shanghai, you know, in Japan, Korea. We've got places to go. All right? So thank you for your support. Continue to support us and continue to ask questions and continue to grow. I appreciate you. Any more questions? That's it?
Yes, so there is some follow-up questions from Michael. I guess, first of all, he's saying that Coach Lawrence is the only coach who's teaching the right way to play golf. And
thank you.
And I guess this will be the last question, and we'll wrap up.
Okay.
Also, Ray is saying that my local coach taught me hitting, not swing. Took 2 lessons and I stopped.
That to me, I feel bad for you, Ray. seriously, I really, I mean, you know, like, I really want to see you guys. This is my desire to really see you guys. I also understand how hard, but the problem is that most of those guys, they just don't know the difference between hitting and swinging. Like, you know, even you ask Tiger Woods, if you ask anybody on tour right now, if you ask them, hey, do you know the difference between hitting the ball and swinging through the ball? They're not able to tell you. They just don't know how to tell you. So sorry, Bray, but like I said, continue to support us, and we will continue to support you guys. We'll make, I mean, our goal really, Energy First Golf, FO Golf, our goal to make the golf world great for people who really want to learn, to enjoy the game to the fullest. And that's really our goal. And that's it. You know, that's all we wanted to do. So thank you.
All right, so we have 2 more questions and then we'll wrap this up.
Okay.
So Michael is asking, during a recent video on stack rotation, coach mentioned about maintaining spine angle as one rotate. Is this a conscious effort or a natural thing?
Well, that's a good question, but when you're training the first, you have to train it consciously. So which is exactly what we talked about, you know, again, I'll show you in the front. So when I'm doing this movement, you know, I do it very slowly. And the truth is, I still do those movements very slowly. Sometimes I do that in the evening at home, and when I'm just by myself, I do this movement. I go weight transfer, and then I have a stack rotation. And I try to do it very slowly. So when I'm doing very slowly, it is a conscious effort. And now also remember, I talked about maintaining spine angle. You guys have to do what? Once you get to here, the spine right here, you got to have a flexing. You got to create your gluteus pressure, gluteus maximus pressure, and your core pressure, so that way you can create the stack rotation. Okay? And I do this very slowly, consciously. Right? Now, just like everything else, you know, when I used to learn piano, again, when I learned piano, I see a piece of music, you know, look at it, I look at the key, I gotta consciously memorize the finger placement, right? And I gotta do it very slowly. So in the beginning, I'm doing such a slow pace. So that's a conscious training. Now eventually, once you got the muscle memory, once you already memorize the music, then you can play the piece of music faster. Right? But remember, the conscious movement or the unconscious movement has to learn it from a greater cause, because you want to know what? You want to know how to control it. So in other words, once I learn a piece of music, I must learn how to play the music slow, right? Or I can learn to play the music fast. You know, just depends on the beat. You know, 1/2, 1/4, 1/8, 1/32. So again, you can say that learning is about conscious learning or unconscious learning. You need to learn both. That's really the bottom line. Because when you learn both, what it comes down to is about what? Body control and muscle control. Even though I remember the music, I already have the finger memory, I'm choosing to play slow music. Or I remember the music, I remember the finger position, I'm going to play fast. So it's the same thing. But the most important thing why you're learning this, because when you learn things correctly, eventually you're still learning how to control the body. And that's when it's fun. Because you're learning how to control. This is what's so crazy about learning golf. Most people don't learn how to control. So there's no fun learning. I mean, you just say, I'm going to hit the ball, boom, 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 boom. What is the control? I mean, if you really look at it, everything in life, when you learn it, it's all about control. How do you control the car? How do you control the badminton? You know, everything's about control. Right? Now, the only difference between golf is that you have to do it consciously, is because you got to learn the muscle to build energy first. That's the reason why I always tell people in this world, learning golf, learning music instrument, learning martial arts, learning how to fly an airplane, those 4 things are very different for most people because the mind has to learn those things with extreme discipline. So if you do things with consciousness, if you do things with unconsciousness, it's both required for those 4 things. Okay? So just keep doing that. You can do it consciously or you can do a free motion, but it's all about correct muscle memory. So you gotta do it slower. Okay, Michael?
Alright, so Michael is saying, welcome to Singapore and Southeast Asia. Thank you, Coach Lawrence and Jason, for spending time to share the correct golf swing. I also hope to visit Georgia and learn from you guys in person.
That's great. You're welcome. And like I say, we're going to be so excited to see a lot of fans, a lot of students, and a lot of clients in the future. You know, I look forward to meeting you.
Alright, last question, and then we'll wrap up. So last question is from Hu. When I practice at the driving range with my 7-iron, the distance is 170 yards, but on the course, it always turns out to be 10 to 20 yards shorter. How to do better in terms of distance control?
The truth is that I will always tell a lot of you guys when you have this type of issue is that don't trust the distance on the range. Okay, because on the range you have a perfect condition. Okay, so and also remember the range balls and the ball that you play, it also is very different. But also when you go play on the range, a lot of times, like I say, you have a perfect condition, your perfect ground, you know, you might be more relaxed because you're on the range, but on the golf course, you might be more tense and you might have wind coming in. So those are a lot of factors involved. And the truth is, I believe your tension is really the main killer of your distance. And that's absolutely true. So, and also remember the last thing is that your distance on the range is a repetitive movement. Means you go bam one ball, bam one ball, bam one ball, bam one ball, right? You do 20, 30, I don't know, with the same club. But remember when you play on the course, you do not do that. You got a ball, you got one swing, and you don't have that swing, you don't do that swing repetitively before that ball. So I would probably say, you know, find out your distance, just hit one ball and wait. And you know, again, I don't like to use the word hit, you know, swing through the ball and wait and see what happens. But like I say to you, on the range and the golf course is different because of those elements. The rhythm of play means you don't do repetitive movement. Your body tension, you know, how tense you are. And then the condition you're dealing with. And then obviously the type of ball you play. Okay, so those are coming factor. Now obviously, again, I will probably have to see your swing to see, oh, maybe there's a difference in the swing what you do in the course. You know, a lot of people have a different swing on the course. Swing's a little bit different than on the range because of relaxation. So, you know, you can send me a video and say, hey, can you analyze the swing? This is my course swing and this is my range swing. What is the difference? So that could also be a factor. Okay? So, again, I really appreciate you guys following us and watching our videos and learn from Energy First Golf, Energy First Impact later. You know, I really look forward to meet you guys in the future and welcome you guys to come to Atlanta, Georgia. And so, but I hope, you know, I do believe it's a bright future for us, for FO Golf, for Energy First Golf. So that's a absolute, believe me, I mean, I have very strong faith about what we're doing. Okay, so thank you very much. Jason, you have anything to add?
No, that'll be all. And Ray is saying that welcome to Vancouver, Canada.
Very nice. Thank you.
And that's
Thank
it.
you. Good. All right. So see you guys next time.
Thank you guys. See you.
Thank you. Bye bye.